The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.
We're so honored to have back on the show multi-award winning singer, songwriter, incredible guitarist, blues, you name it, Sue Foley. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Thank you very much.
It's so much better having you in person and in studio.
I'm telling you, it's nice to see you.
And then when
in
you're
3D.
playing sold out shows in Nashville also. Pretty nice deal.
Yeah, Nashville's been really good to us.
I have a feeling too, especially with this new album, and I got to tell you, I can't get enough of this. One Guitar Woman that is out now. It seems like now you should play the Opry because you've got, Maybell's guitar on here, and you got to see Mother Maybell's guitar at the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I had to go down yesterday and check it out. It was just so cool to see it in person, and it's still in beautiful shape. And you think, she played that her whole career from 1928 till she died, the same guitar.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Well, it's kind of like you though with Pinky, although you've got 3 of these, with the pink paisley Telecasters now.
Yeah, maybe one day long after I'm gone, Pinky will be in a museum.
I think she will be.
People will go, wow, she played that her whole career,
Right. Well, and I've got to bring this up too, certainly, all of the incredible awards you've won, over the years with the Blues Awards, last year even winning Blues Guitarist and Blues Band, Lifetime Award, Canadian Blues Award, list goes on and on, Lifetime Achievement Blues Award. But what a departure with this album. And I've got to ask you, Sue, with One Guitar Woman, what motivated you to do these songs, just you and a guitar?
Well, I think the treatment of them, because it's very traditional music basically, and I was studying artists, like you say, from Maybelle Carter's, Carter's Scratch, and now I look back, that's almost 100 years old.
Wow.
So, and Elizabeth Cotten, most of the treatments were respectful of the actual treatments of their music. So people like Lydia Mendoza, she played solo a lot.
Right.
Maybelle was basically the backbone of the Carter family, and that was just one guitar for the most part. And Elizabeth Cotten was solo, Memphis Minnie, she played in a duo, but to treat that music solo was fine too, yeah.
But also, you're not going to bring this up, so I'm going to have to. You studied. You really dug into this. How many years was this in the process? Because what struck me, and you and I were talking before we came in studio, Sue, to where almost like the Lomax recordings, to where you were hearing these artists, and once again, this sounds much better than those, but it's like, but kind of the same thing, stripped down, with just the vocals and the guitar, and you studied these artists, these female artists, that are oftentimes not given the credit that they should be.
Yeah, and it's not, it might be an oversight, because the guitar world, there's so many guitar players that when you think about the subtleties that are in the music of these women, it's sometimes overlooked because of people like The Flash, and they like a lot of fast picking and stuff. But it took me a long time, first of all, to answer that question. It took me years. Even the Carter Scratch, which looks effortless when you see Maybelle doing it in videos, to actually execute the Carter Scratch, hold the rhythm steady, not lose tempo, back up a singer, and do the lead and the rhythm at the same time. That's really hard.
It's funny because I tried it. It's like a month or so ago. I tried it. I couldn't get it down. And I'm listening to you perform it. I'm like going, well, there it is. And Maybelle, came up with this.
She came up with it. She developed it, and it's genius, really. And it was so influential. But people, it was nice at the Country Music Hall of Fame that they actually acknowledged that it was such an influential guitar style in folk and blues and country. But it's like I said, some of this work is overlooked because people think guitarists, like, you have to be super fast, but there's other subtleties involved. But even the complexity of Elizabeth Cotten as well, the Piedmont folk picking.
Incredible, and you do such a great job
on that. There's a lot going on
that.
that.
Well, and
There's
also
a lot
Sister
of moving
Rosetta.
parts. And Sister Rosetta, I think she has been acknowledged more recently and inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And more people are way more aware of her, but man, what a great musician. Like all 3, guitar, pyrotechnical guitar, guitar flamboyancy, all the showmanship, and her vocals, which are multi-octave range. She's off the charts.
And I got to bring this up too, and obviously, you know, with your past few albums, you know, very blues driven with your band, you've got a tight band that tours with you, but your voice sounds incredible on this album.
Thank you.
You know, to match your guitar playing, because you're so well known for your guitar playing.
Right. Thank you so much. And I think with the softer appeal of an acoustic album, I was able to relax my voice a bit more. When you're playing with a rock and electric band, you're kind of pushing hard, and actually when you push less hard, you're softer. Your voice actually gets bigger. So this is something I've learned through the years. But
Well, it definitely shows on the album, and especially on the vinyl. But I've got to bring this up also. You did not use your characteristic guitar that you're known for with your pink paisley Telecaster. You had a specially built flamenco guitar for this.
I did, and I've been a fan of flamenco guitar and classical Spanish guitar for my whole life. I went down to Paracho, Mexico, and this is a mecca for guitar players. If anybody's been there or if you've heard about it, I'd heard about it for years, that this town was founded specifically so the town would be luthiers. And the whole town is dedicated to guitars. You just walk into the town, there's a giant guitar, and then everywhere there's guitar stores, guitar builders. It's just like Disneyland. So we went around, we went on a little pilgrimage, and we met the builders. I tried out a bunch of instruments, and I settled on one, and it's beautiful. It's a flamenco negra, which is, it's a gorgeous instrument, handmade by a builder named Salvador Castillo.
And there's a video also on your YouTube site.
There is, about the journey down there for people who are curious about what it's like to actually go. We have to, you know, where we flew into and how we got down there and what the scene was like. And I highly recommend it because, you know, these instruments, if you went to Spain, they'd probably be, you know, 5 or 6 times more expensive.
Oh, totally. I was going to bring that up. I mean,
Yeah.
much more expensive in Spain.
Yeah, and plus you got to get to Spain.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So getting to Paracho wasn't that hard, and wow, what a great thing! I love this guitar.
So now
I
when
play
you're
it
on
the
tour,
shows.
you have to take one more guitar.
Yes, and I bring this with me, and I'm previewing that show within the electric show sometimes. Sometimes I'm out solo doing it, but yeah, I'm playing with that guitar.
It seems like it'd be a great time also to bring this guitar, you know, and play the Opry sometime.
I would love
you know,
that.
Or, you know, the Opry and the Ryman.
I would love
And
that.
showcase,
What a
because particularly with
treat.
Maybell's guitar, it's like, it just struck me. I mean, I've got so many favorites on here, like Mal Hombre and La Malagueña. It's like Freight Train. There's so many great songs on here, but it's like, I think they deserve a deeper listen.
Thank you. Well, I would love that, and yeah, this is a real pleasure and a joy and a passion for me. And these are, I wrote extensive liner notes about all the women as well, but
Wow. And potentially a book.
yes,
in the future.
a book about women in guitar. I've been fascinated with it ever since I wanted to be a guitar player. Yeah.
As a teenager.
Yes.
And your father was a guitar player.
My father and my 3 older brothers.
Wow.
So I was always, since I was raised in that family and I knew I'd play guitar, I was always like, well, okay, I'm a girl, where are the girl guitar players? So, and the first one I ever saw who really played, because I was raised with Hendrix and Clapton, and what my older brothers were listening to was heavy rock and stuff, and the first woman I saw really play and fret and was Charo. So this is, she's the only
Yeah.
woman in this series.
Who played flamenco.
She played flamenco and classical, and she's the only woman in this series who's actually still alive, and she's still playing.
Right.
So I tributed her by doing La Malagueña.
That
and
is
her version of it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, and also I've got to brag on you some, and I'm not saying just because of all the awards you've won and everything else that are very much deserved, but also you've really, you know, broken a lot of ground as a blues artist yourself, as a female blues artist, and known to be an incredible guitarist, but also with your songwriting and with your vocals and everything.
Thank you.
And you're part of the Jungle Show, which you are the
Right.
only female that plays with like this all-guy band, which are all A-listers.
Yeah, Billy Gibbons, who has a place here in Nashville,
Right.
and people probably know him pretty well here, from ZZ Top, and he's in the band. Jimmy Vaughn, of course, famous Texas guitar player. Mike Flanigan on organ, fabulous B3 organ player, and Chris Layton on drums, and me.
Yeah. And so it's like you've got part of Stevie Ray Vaughan's band,
Yep.
and you're based out of Austin.
Yes. It's a big club, and I was really honored that they would keep me in the band and have me in the band, and I feel great. I feel great playing with them.
I think they're thrilled to have. Well, and you've toured and shared a stage with so many great artists, such as B.B. King, Buddy Guy, Jimmy Vaughn that you mentioned. I mean, the list goes on and on. So for you, you know, what an incredible thing to be able to acknowledge other female pioneers that have done, you know, played guitar and done incredible music, but also to bring your own interpretation.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, it's a passion project, and I always say these are the women whose footsteps I walk in, and who paved the way for me, and we're doing it at a time when it was really not done. Like now we see so many great women shredders, and it's fantastic. But even when I was coming up, there was a lot less. But when they were coming up, there was none.
Right, exactly.
So you got to imagine they had something in their character where they did something that nobody did. And that's just sort of a genius, a character trait that I find so compelling. And that's really what I wanted to focus on, was like, these are interesting people. Like, they did interesting things, and they took chances and stepped out where nobody had been before.
Right, just as you have with this album.
Well,
because I think it's very easy, you know, and not knocking any artist or you know, bands or anything, to just keep doing what you do. I mean, you know, like Pinky's Blues, it's like, you know, once again, on the charts, so well received. Even your last live album out of Austin, Volume 1, I understand there might be a Volume 2.
Yeah,
so,
there will be.
But it's like, you know, it's easy to keep doing that, but to stretch out and, you know, and work on this, like you said, provide the liner notes and potentially the book, seems like a documentary or some kind of video would be a nice asset to go
There's
along
so
with
many, you know, there's so much you can do with this concept, and people have done it. There's been, you know, now there's magazines dedicated to women in guitar, and, you know, websites and all kinds of, you know, places where people can find information. But there is a rich history, and I wanted it for also women guitar players who think, oh, I don't belong in this club, you know, because I don't do this or I don't do that. It's like, no, you do. You've been here all along.
Right.
And there's been a place for you all along, and it's a rich history.
And you've carved out your own niche. I got to bring this up too, that the album was recorded, I believe, in Blue Skies in Austin, but then mastered at Abbey Road.
Yeah, mastered at Abbey Road, produced by Mike Flanigan and engineered by Chris Bell. They're both fantastic at getting great sounds, and it was recorded in Dolby Atmos, which is surround sound. So if you get it on, you know, Apple Music or something, you can really hear that surround sound.
Totally. Also, if you get it on vinyl.
Vinyl is the best.
Yes, vinyl is the best, but also available on CD and digital. And you know, I know certainly with your guitars, with your amps, you know, playing the 59 Bassman, the 65 Twins on the road and everything, and certainly your new Flamenco guitar, you're still using D'Addario strings on everything, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, they've kind of been backing you for a while.
We've been partnered with D'Addario, and they're really good to us. And they have so many products, like not just strings. They've got, you know, we get our drum heads from them. We get our cables from them. They got a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, they've been great for us.
And it's good to have them on the road.
Excellent, yeah.
And so you got huge tours, festivals, and everything this year. Are you going to have the vinyl with you as well on the road?
We carry the vinyl on the road, and you can order the vinyl online through my website or through the label's website, Stony Plain Records. Yeah, and CDs, we sell signed CDs through my websites. We just don't ship the vinyl because it's so fragile.
Yes,
but,
and just wonderful though.
But we do have it with us when we tour.
Going to make a great t-shirt.
Yeah, it is. It's actually on a t-shirt.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are on the website too.
See, I'm an idea guy.
You're a natural guy.
Well, I want to make sure, you know, for our viewers, you know, who are going to want this, you know, on vinyl, to come see you live at all the festivals this year and hear you perform some of these songs and certainly your other hits that you're known for. Sue, where should they go to, website and social media-wise?
SueFoley.com. And you can link all the socials there, but Sue Foley Official is, you know, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's all Sue Foley Official. So.
See, there you go. And I'll tell you what, check out this album, however you consume music, whether it's by digital, signed CDs are available, the vinyl, incredible. But Sue Foley, One Guitar Woman, a tribute to the female pioneers of guitar. Just an incredible album. I think you're going to love it as much as I do. It deserves a deep listen, and you're going to appreciate these songs, but go see her live, especially with her incredible band. Sue, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
The Rocket Review is sponsored by Why Not Saloon.